India's most politically powerful and populous region is also its most backward. And nobody wants to talk about it. This part of India has the most voters, the most members of parliament, and the most influence on who becomes prime minister. It's called the Cow Belt. But don't let the name fool you. Behind the holy cows and the temple bells, this region is drowning in poverty, violence, illiteracy, religious extremism, and political manipulation. And it's dragging the rest of the country down with it. Let's get straight into it. The Cow Belt is a stretch of northern India that includes Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and parts of Haryana and Uttarakhand. These states form the Hindi-speaking heartland of India, where the cow is considered sacred and Hindu nationalism is thriving. It's the BJP's fortress, Narendra Modi's comfort zone. And it's also where democracy goes to die a slow, painful death, along with basic manners, hygiene, and many other things. Let's start with some numbers. Uttar Pradesh alone sends 80 MPs to parliament. That's more than the entire south of India combined. Add Bihar's 40 MPs, Madhya Pradesh's 29, Rajasthan's 25, and the rest of the Cow Belt, and you're looking at a political juggernaut. Whoever wins the Cow Belt basically wins India. There's a reason why Modi and the BJP keep education levels low in this area so that they can ply them with misinformation and brainwash them. Now here's the problem. This region holds massive power, but it's in complete shambles. Let's talk about poverty. According to the latest multidimensional poverty index, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, and Madhya Pradesh are among the poorest states in India. In Bihar, over half the population lives in poverty. These are people who don't have access to clean water, working toilets, basic healthcare, or decent housing. In 2023, a report showed that 3 out of every 10 children in these states are malnourished. In some districts of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, it's even worse. Now, education. The literacy rates in these states are embarrassingly low. Bihar's literacy rate is around 63% compared to 94% in Kerala. Uttar Pradesh isn't doing much better, hovering around 73%, which might sound okay until you remember that this is basic literacy, just the ability to read and write your name. When it comes to actual education quality, most government schools in these states are underfunded, understaffed, and practically falling apart. The annual status of education report has been sounding the alarm for years. In rural UP, for instance, more than 50% of children in grade 5 can't even read a second grade level text. Now let's talk about health. Maternal mortality, infant mortality, and access to healthcare are all worse in the Cow Belt. In Uttar Pradesh, the maternal mortality rate is over 200 deaths per 100,000 live births, double the national average. Hospitals lack basic equipment, doctors are in short supply, and in many villages, superstition still replaces science. What about jobs? Youth unemployment is rampant. A 2022 report found that Bihar and Uttar Pradesh had some of the highest youth unemployment rates in India. Even those with degrees, many of them from shady private colleges, end up driving rickshaws or working as daily wage laborers. In Bihar, during one of the government job exams, millions of people applied for just a few thousand vacancies. Some PhD holders applied for low-level jobs. That's how desperate things are. And here's where it gets even more twisted. Despite all of this, despite the poverty, the illiteracy, the hopelessness, the people here keep voting for the same parties, especially the BJP. Modi's face is everywhere. Yogi Adityanath, a hardline monk-turned-politician, is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh and is openly pushing a Hindutva agenda. The BJP doesn't win here in spite of the misery, it wins because of it. Here's how it works. When people are poor, uneducated, and desperate, it's easier to distract them with religious nationalism. Instead of jobs, you give them riots. Instead of development, you give them temples. Instead of questioning power, they're told to protect the cow. Cow politics is no joke here. Cow slaughter is banned in most Cow Belt states, and Muslims, Dalits, and Christians have been lynched on mere suspicion of transporting beef. These lynch mobs often walk free. Sometimes they're even celebrated. Remember Pehlu Khan, Akhlaq, Tabriz Ansari? Their names should haunt us. But here, they're brushed aside as necessary sacrifices for a Hindu Rashtra. And the media? Don't even get me started. Most of the national Hindi language media outlets are based in Delhi or Noida, right next to the Cow Belt. And they've become full-time cheerleaders for the ruling party. Watch a Hindi news channel for 5 minutes and you'll see anchors foaming at the mouth about Pakistan love jihad or how Modi is saving Bharat. You won't hear a word about hunger or unemployment. A message to Palki Sharma and the Godi media: you are actively making your country worse by blindly cheering Modi and the BJP's terrible policies. But why is this region so backward in the first place? Let's go back in history. The Gangetic plains of the Cow Belt were once the cradle of Indian civilization. Ancient cities like Varanasi, Patna, and Ayodhya were centers of learning, culture, and commerce. In fact, it was one of the wealthiest places in the world during the ancient and early medieval periods. But over time, especially during colonial rule and after independence, investment shifted elsewhere, toward coastal states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Karnataka. The Cow Belt was left behind. Post-independence, caste politics became the dominant force here. Leaders like Lalu Prasad Yadav in Bihar and Mayawati in Uttar Pradesh rose by mobilizing lower caste votes. These were important movements for social justice, but they didn't always lead to good governance. In fact, corruption, nepotism, and criminalization of politics became widespread. Then came the BJP with a new formula: combine upper caste consolidation, Hindu nationalism, and cow worship. And you get a winning machine. This is not just about religion, it's about controlling people. When you convince the majority that they're under threat from minorities, you don't have to answer any real questions. Why do you think Modi rarely does unscripted interviews? And so the Cow Belt becomes a factory of majoritarianism. Freedom of speech is a joke. Dissent is punished. Journalists who ask tough questions are jailed, beaten, or worse. Activists disappear. Even comedians aren't safe. Ask Munawar Faruqi. But the irony is, the people suffering the most are the very ones who keep the BJP in power. They don't have clean drinking water. They don't have decent jobs. But they have WhatsApp, Twitter, and other social media platforms where every problem is blamed on Muslims, liberals, China, or the West. We've all seen the angry netizens flooding the comment sections. Let's be real. This is not just about the BJP. The Congress, regional parties, and the entire political system have failed this region again and again. But the BJP has perfected the art of weaponizing that failure. Take Uttar Pradesh again. This is a state that sends the most MPs to parliament. It's home to the Ganga, to Ayodhya, to Varanasi, Modi's own constituency. And yet it ranks near the bottom in every human development index. In some parts of the state, especially in Bundelkhand and eastern UP, conditions are so bad that families sell their daughters into marriage just to survive. And it's not just a rural problem. Even urban areas like Kanpur, Patna, and Bhopal are struggling with broken infrastructure, terrible pollution, and rising crime. Remember the investor summit in Bhopal where the lunch hall was stormed and destroyed by hundreds of attendees just because there was some free curry and samosas? Meanwhile, Yogi Adityanath is building the Ram Mandir. Modi is unveiling statues. The media is clapping. And the people? They're still waiting for a better life. Compare this to southern states like Kerala or Tamil Nadu. Yes, they have their own issues, but their literacy rates, health indicators, and social welfare systems are miles ahead. In fact, the South often subsidizes the Cow Belt through central taxation, but gets insulted for being too westernized or anti-Hindu. Speak Hindi, not Tamil, they say, while receiving Tamil taxes. So the hard truth which many netizens don't want to hear is that the Cow Belt is holding India back. Not just economically, but socially and politically. It's a place where democracy is being replaced by demagoguery, where blind faith is rewarded and critical thinking is punished. And unless we fix it, the rest of India will be dragged down too. This isn't about looking down on poor people. It's about demanding better for them. They deserve jobs, schools, hospitals, not just cow statues and hate speeches. But for that to happen, we have to stop glorifying this region as the soul of India. Because right now, it's not the soul, it's the rot. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.